Hi guys, welcome to the Love and Science weekly energy update for we're working on Saturday, March 12th to Friday, March 18th. Mercury is in Pisces, my friends. That's all I can say. And wow, yeah, really pay attention to the details. Mercury is only going to be in Pisces for like another 18 days. And that's such a blessing. Mercury leaves Pisces, actually 17 days. So I'm doing this on Thursday, March 10th, this video. So, it's a very short trip. And yeah, it's a really good thing that it's a really short trip because I can already tell, like, I've already had issues with it being kind of an illusion, like something happened where I thought like all of this information and all of these videos were lost, and really it was just an update. It was very weird. A friend of mine has been arguing with the bank all morning, and that may also be because Mars and Venus are now in Aquarius, still conjunct, still doing that conjunction dance. Venus is starting to break away from Mars and will break away from Mars a little bit more this week and into this month. But yeah, that, the Venus in Aquarius is so aloof when it comes to money that mistakes can easily happen as well. So really like, and we're going to look at the charts and I'm going to show you all of this energy that's going on in all of the, in Pisces and Aquarius, and how, really the moon phases and like the moon, the signs that the moon is in, that's really going to be kind of our saving grace when it comes to adding a little variety to the energy. There's no fire except for Chiron until the moon is in Leo. And when the moon is in Leo this week, it's going to be more like teenage wound healing time. And you know how teenagers are when they get hormonal. So this week should be really interesting. Before we get started, I do have some time on my March calendar for appointments. I have tarot readings and astrology readings available, and you'll be getting daily content on the Love and Science membership. So all of that information is in the description box. This will be the last year that I'll be offering readings to the public on a regular basis. So if you haven't gotten a reading from me, now is your chance to do that. But I'm really glad that you guys are here with me, hanging out with me today. Let's take a look at what this week has in store for us. So let's make this. All right, so Saturday, we have, you can go ahead and take your screenshot now if you want to remember what's going on this week. Saturday, March 12th, we have the Cancer moon trine Jupiter, trine the sun, conjunct Neptune, which will be exact on Sunday. All day long, that sun will be conjunct Neptune, and that's going to be a very interesting time for us. So we'll look at that chart pretty closely. Sunday, we have Sunday, March 13th, we have the Cancer moon opposite Pluto before going void, and then we'll have an afternoon moon ingress to Leo. And this is also a day where the sun will conjoin Neptune exact. On Monday, March 4th, we have the Leo moon opposite Mars, Venus, and the Leo moon will trine Chiron, and the moon will also square Uranus. So that's going to scream a lot of projection, a lot of changes. We'll go through that. It's very interesting. We'll talk about what the Leo moon stands for as well, which has a lot to do with what's going to happen on Monday. Tuesday, and this is all leading up to that full moon in Virgo. Remember that full moon in Virgo is on Friday. So remember that. So we're doing a lot of releasing and healing during this time. We're going to be seeing what it is that we are supposed to be releasing for the Virgo full moon as well. So Leo moon on Tuesday, March 15th, we have the Leo moon square the nodes, and the moon will also be opposite Saturn. Wednesday, March 16th, the Virgo moon will quincunx Mars and in conjunct Venus, which is also a quincunx. I don't know what that moon opposite Mars that I don't know why that was on there. I'm not sure why I put that on there. You can scratch that part out. See what I'm, Mercury in Pisces, there was bound to be a mistake in this somewhere, you guys, seriously. Wow. All right. So the Virgo moon, it's interesting. I used quincunx and in conjunct all in the same day as well. And they both mean the same thing. Basically, it's really harsh aspect, and we'll get into that more to talk about Wednesday. So, but the moon will quincunx Mars and will quincunx Venus, and then we'll have a late night trine to Uranus. And then on Thursday, March 17th, happy St. Patrick's Day. The Virgo moon will be opposite Jupiter and Neptune, and Mercury will be sextile Uranus. That's going to be an interesting St. Patrick's Day. People are probably going to be out there pretty wild and not really thinking about what they're doing much. Friday, March 18th, the Virgo full moon at 3:18 a.m. Eastern, 27 degrees, will trine Pluto. Venus will be sextile Uranus still. Early morning moon ingress to Libra, and then that moon in the late night will trine Mars and Lilith. And it's funny because I wanted to put that Mars and Lilith trine with the moon in Libra, because it's really a balance of masculine and feminine energies that we're going to be looking at when the moon will still be in that full phase, and we have this massive balance of energies that now we're integrating after that full moon. So there are a lot of really, really massive energies that are happening this week, which is funny because a lot of it is based on what the moon is doing, and not necessarily because the outer planets, or not the outer planets, but the big aspects from all of those planets, they're kind of taking a break this week, and the moon really has the spotlight. She always really does have the spotlight, but this Pisces season is so much about trusting your intuition. You have to trust your intuition. Mercury now in Pisces is not going to let you do things logically. Things are going to be, a little bit off on purpose, so that we're forced to trust our inner guide and trust all of the inner wisdom that we already have. And that's really going to be a huge, huge theme for this entire week. And the Virgo full moon, ending the week with the Virgo full moon. Virgo is all about the psychic you have in your body, where Pisces is the spiritual, Virgo and Pisces is the axes where we have to have the balance between the mental spiritual and the physical spiritual. And, when we go too far one way in the emotional, or we try to get into that enlightenment stage, and we're constantly raising our vibration, and we're never really grounded in our body. We're trying to transcend the human experience. It never works. I don't know if you guys have ever thought, think about it this way. Being in the matrix world and going to a corporate office and working there, and you're really almost over grounded in that safe, comfortable zone that you've made, but you're miserable at the same time. And then I know people that had a lot of really bad physical things happening to them, and they were told over and over and over again that they need to release the emotions, and they need to raise their vibration, and they need to let go, instead of integrating all of these emotions and all of these wounds and everything. And so On one end, we're forced to really be in the body completely and not even be in touch with our soul and not even be in touch with our spiritual side. And it's almost as if we die a little bit every day when we're in experiences like that. And then on the other opposite end, the other extreme of it is trying to transcend the human experience and not understanding that the human body is meant to break down. The human body was not meant to last forever. It was not built. It was not something that was built to last forever. It's not like the cockroach, you know what I mean? And even they don't last forever. I mean, they probably, I hear that they can last under some pretty extreme conditions, like Twinkies can last in extreme conditions, but our bodies were not meant to do that. They were meant to break down. And then we get really shocked when it happens. And sometimes we get shocked when it happens too early, but trying to transcend that and taking yourself out of the actual human experience that you signed up for, that is the very Virgo Pisces axis that we're dealing with right now. And so the Virgo full moon is going to show you where you haven't been present in your spiritual body. Whereas the Pisces new moon, it showed you where you weren't in your intuitive body. And this whole Pisces season is meant for us to feel instead of try and think our way through things. Even with the Mercury sextile Uranus this week, it's Mercury in Pisces, sextile Uranus in Taurus. I mean, it's really having to work together for like that common ground thing. So let's start off by looking at the charts. I guarantee you that I did not set this up correctly. So we're just going to take a minute and we're going to go, yeah, because I'm on cute. That's adorable. So here we are. On Saturday is where we want to start, March 12th. So you guys can see me a little bit. Had somebody mention last week that my video was small. So, all right. So Saturday, March 12th, we have the moon in Cancer. I'm going to back this up a few hours because this is showing like really late at night. All right. So we have the moon in Cancer, and the moon will trine Jupiter and the moon will trine the sun. And you can see here that on Saturday, the sun and Neptune will be conjunct at 22 degrees all day long. It will not be exact until Sunday, but we do we do have this effect all day long. And with this Cancer moon, so I want to show you guys, look at the unbalanced energy. So all of this Pisces energy, we have the sun, we have Mercury, we have Jupiter, we have Neptune, now we have Cancer, moon. And so that's all that water energy, the air energy. We now have Mars and Venus in Aquarius, and we have Saturn in Aquarius. And so when the moon is in an air sign, that's like that extra. So when the moon is in Libra, after the Virgo full moon, there's going to be that extra boost of air energy. And air energy can be very indecisive. Yes, I know that Aquarius is fixed focus, but sometimes it can be overthinking, like there's too much overthinking. So there's a lot of indecisiveness that happens in that air energy. So, and we have some Earth. We have Uranus in Taurus. We have Pluto in Capricorn. And of course, we have the North Node in Taurus. But the only fire right now that we have for any kind of motivation is Chiron. And as much as I love what Chiron can do to help us heal, it is not a motivating factor when we have all of this stuff pushed down on us and all this pressure. So, and it's not that I don't think anybody's having a really horribly, massively difficult time. Yes, a lot of people are. We have this really bad, horrible war that's going on across the world. There are a lot of people that are having really super difficult times, but this is a time that we have to accept things. This is a time where we really have to look at how the universe is made up of the good and bad, right? There's no such thing as things being all good all the time or all bad all the time. I made a statement to somebody several years ago, and for some reason it's popping back up in my head right now. And so I'm going to say it again. But when I was younger, I started to recognize in my life that all of these bad things that would happen to me, or all these traumatic events that would happen to me, there would always be like something really great that happened to me on the outside of it, on the backside of it. And I started to realize that that was kind of that pattern that happened all the time. And I don't know when it was the moment that I recognized that all of these bad things that were happening, or quote unquote bad things, because some of the things that I can see as bad aren't as bad to some other people who have been through much worse in their life than I have. Do you see? It's all about perspective. Good and bad is all about perspective, the perspective that we put on it. But really looking at, I don't know when the time that I realized was that that was the balance. I'm also a Libra rising. So it was kind of my journey in this life, not kind of, it is my journey in this life to find the balance of good and evil, good and, or that the duality of things. So that's really something that has to be looked at in a big way right now, because we are so unbalanced. What are the things that we need to do to create more balance in our lives right now? Since there's not a lot of earth going on in the chart, getting grounded every single day, really allowing yourself to set the tone every day when you first wake up, and getting grounded for yourself first thing in the morning is also going to help that motivation that we don't have any fire. And so when we start to balance the energies, when things are too wet and dry, which is what Pisces season is looking like with all this Pisces energy and Aquarius energy, when the season is too wet and dry, we need to look for ways to be able to balance our own selves. And of course, also looking in our chart, like in my chart, I'm mostly earth and fire. So all of this water and air is making me super, super dehydrated. And so I'm really having to look at that too. So trusting your intuition and your awareness is really going to heighten, giving you some extra sensitivity during this Sun conjunct Neptune. So all weekend long, really learning how to trust your intuition. This can happen, this conjunction or this transit can happen one of two ways for you. It can really give you a lot of extra sensitivity to you intuitively. You'll be intuitively able to feel other people, or even have like kind of a telepathic relationship with other people. You may empathize with people a little bit deeper. Your interests with spirituality may be a little bit more advanced, and one of your interests may be like pumping up a little bit more for spirituality. You may want to start learning things like in the occult, like astrology or tarot or human design or whatever it is, or meditation or mindfulness, all of those things that are spirituality. For some of us, this is going to be this will drain our energy. The sun is our vitality, and Neptune is such a big force that it sort of sucks the energy right out of whatever it's with. So this Neptune Kazemi is the sun conjunct Neptune is could remove the energy from your vitality. You may be unable to cope with the world, especially when with that Cancer moon happening. You may feel like fleeing the world by isolating. Be sure to reach out to loved ones if you aren't doing well mentally. Some people enjoy doing mind-altering substances during times like this. Like I know some people that with the sun conjunct Neptune and the sun conjunct Jupiter that we had last week, enjoy like microdosing and stuff like that. And I'm not going to promote that or say that it's bad or anything like that. I think that you need to research that on your own and do it for your own specifications. But there are scientific advancements when it comes to microdosing with LSD or psychedelic drugs or anything like that during this time, or during, certain transits that are happening, and it can help heal. It can help heal with traumatic wounds in your mind and stuff like that. But again, I'm not a doctor, and I'm not going to tell you to do that to heal yourself, but do your own research and look into that if that's something that interests you. I know that I said it for a reason. Somebody out there is probably interested in doing something like that. But also be very careful, because during this time, it can do an opposite effect where it sort of takes you down a darker path and a darker road. So you have to really make sure that you're super, super grounded if you decide to do something like that. All right, so then we have, let's pop over to Sunday. Sunday, March 13th, we have the sun conjunct Neptune. Here we have this, here we see the sun already at 1:45 p.m. at the 23rd degree. So the sun will be moving away from Neptune slowly on Sunday, but we'll still feel that impact of the sun conjunct Neptune. The Cancer moon will be opposite Pluto. As we can see here, Pluto is at 28 degrees in Capricorn. This is going to create some emotional disruption in the ways that we need to nurture ourselves. If we're not allowing ourselves to be nurtured by certain things, or like if there are certain things in our life that are keeping us from having a nurturing and stable environment, those are going to be really, really apparent. And you're going to see that things always have to change when it comes to moon Pluto aspects. The moon will go void and then in the afternoon, the moon will ingress to Leo. So let's, so we have the moon ingress to Leo, and you may find that shift to the Leo, that ingress to the Leo moon makes you feel a little bit better. Like it kind of it's probably going to lighten the mood a little bit. Then we move on to Monday. Monday's going to be a really interesting day, especially when it comes to like people who are in group settings or like office settings and stuff like that, because so we'll have the moon in Leo. It'll be opposing Mars, be opposite Mars and opposite Venus in Aquarius. The moon in Leo will also be trine Chiron. So this is the moon in Leo is the first fire that we have felt. Wow, since the Aries moon. Feels like it's been decades. So, but the Leo moon is going to be the first fire that we felt since the Aries moon, just before that Pisces, I'm sorry, just after the Pisces full moon. So, this is going to kick off some emotions, and because it's Chiron and because it's Leo likes it. Leo sits in the fifth house, and the fifth house is where we find our joy and our inner child. Usually it's more of like inner teenager stuff when it's the fifth house, but that's where Leo resides. So when we have all of this emotional energy going on, and then we're triggered by Chiron, and there's this opposition to Mars that could keep us all a little bit feisty. And it's like, we're trying to have this focus on things, but it's really hard to focus on stuff because everything just sort of feels like it's swirling around you. You could easily trigger that inner teenager and some of those childhood wounds, which means you're not the only one that will do that. Possibly other people as well will be triggered in that way. And so especially wherever like Chiron and Leo are in your chart, it's going to be a really interesting, emotional, like big emotional day on Monday. This will be a great time to heal those inner teenage wounds, but watch out for any projections. Remember what it is being a hormonal teenager, and then give that hormonal teenager all the love. Seriously. I don't know. I remember when I was a teenager that I just felt like I was never listened to. And that's been a really big wound that I've been healing a lot with this Chiron in Aries, because it sits in my 7th house. So I'm healing this relationship wound and feeling like I'm not listened to. So find that thing that you felt like when you were a teenager, it was that like people didn't listen to you, or people didn't really understand you, or you weren't, you wanted to be heard. Love the inner teenager the way that you were supposed to be loved. And it's no fault of your, like, yes, for some people, it is very much the fault of their parents, and they have to acknowledge that. But we're moving forward, right? We don't want to keep placing blame on the past. We want to acknowledge where we are in the present moment and move forward from there. So just love on that. The sun is also going to be sextile the north node. So we have the sun here at 24 degrees, sextile the north node, and trine the south node. So we're really working on our future goals by healing our past and by teaching ourselves to listen to our own selves and recognize that that kind of worthiness is possible within us. It doesn't matter what anybody else says about us. It matters what we can do for ourselves. And that really helps catapult us on our future. So then we have Tuesday. Let's look at Tuesday, March 15th. We have the Leo moon square the nodes opposite Saturn. So that's going to be really early in the morning. The Leo moon at 24 degrees will be square the node. So there may be some kind of emotional shifts that are happening when it comes to the plans for your future. There's going to be an early morning opposition to Saturn, and then the Leo moon will go void. You may find yourself not really wanting to express your emotions, where Monday, like it might have been where Monday you really wanted to express all of these emotions. It's almost as if Tuesday is like an integrating your emotions kind of day. And the moon will be void all day. So, and it's not that I don't think that there's going to be any motivation because the moon's going to be void. I think that there's going to be no motivation because of all of this water and air energy and no fire energy, and a fire moon is void. So there's a lot of things that are coming together that is really kind of making us sort of drag our asses through this season. Wednesday. So we have Wednesday, March 16th. We have the moon in Virgo working on getting to her full phase. She won't be really connecting with any planets until the evening. And then you'll see that and it's like in the afternoon, actually, about mid-afternoon, she'll be in conjunct, she'll be quincunx Mars, and then she'll be quincunx Venus. And in those instances, everybody's going to sort of be like, everybody's going to want to be right in these instances. And then we will also have a really late night trine to Uranus. So there might be some changes that are happening in your physical environment. It could be with your physical, depending on where that Virgo full moon is going to be showing up for you. But there's this, you have to remember, especially because Mercury's in Pisces, no one actually, like, people are saying things, and people are going to be saying things where there isn't any information backing it up. People are going to be saying things because the things that they're feeling, it's just all sort of being spilled out. And this Virgo full moon is going to be doing a lot of that with that quincunx to Mars and quincunx to Venus. Really release the need to be right in all of the situations, and be careful with overindulging in wine, food, or money. A lot of times when we get really upset about things, and I mean, some people aren't going to feel like that feeling of being upset about things, but I think the majority of us are. So I'm going to talk about it first. The overindulgence can happen when we become really upset about things and we want to comfort ourselves. And Pisces season is one of those seasons where it's really easy to overindulge things, especially since the sun is still very close to Neptune. And we have Mercury closing in on Jupiter as well. There's just this huge, massive desire to overindulge in things. And when we get to the Virgo full moon, she's going to be asking you to release things that are no longer serving you. And she's not going to be easy about it. I don't know if you know Virgos. I don't know if you know any Virgos, but we mean business. We mean what we say. And, you know, if we're open-minded enough to help people along, it can be a lot easier. But sometimes, you know, we find ourselves being very close-minded with our own selves. And that's what that moon is going to be showing us. Thursday, we have the moon in Virgo, opposite Jupiter, opposite Neptune, and Mercury in Pisces will be sextile Uranus in Taurus. So you may have some really interesting creative discoveries during this Virgo full moon. Be sure that you're not creating any delusional situations that may have an opposite reaction. This is going to be a really great time to catapult your life by changing up your routine. So if you can manage to focus on yourself and manage to focus on your physical environment and manage to focus on the things that are like, this is literally the equinox. Like we're going to be going, like Aries season will be just 2 days after this Virgo full moon. So this is the spring cleaning. This is that time where we want to make sure that we have planted the seeds and we're making room for all of that growth. If you planted seeds in a little tiny box and you need an entire yard, that's going to be a problem. So this Virgo full moon is showing you where to open up that energy for yourself and to release things. This is going to be a really good day to wrap any up loose ends to the cycles you're completing. You may have a lot of insights to new opportunities in the world as you start to wrap up cycles, but you've got to trust your intuition. There is nothing logical. I don't care if the Mercury is sextile Uranus. It is not logical. It is the opposite of logical. You have to trust your intuition through this. And that Mercury sextile Uranus will do everything it can to switch things up to help get you back on your path. But, you know, there's a lot of deception around that too. There are things where you could find out that people have been lying to you about stuff for a very long time during that Mercury sextile Uranus. And this Virgo full moon is going to be opening a lot of that energy up too. So where we go to the Virgo full moon, it is happening in the morning at let's see. I think I had this saved somewhere, but okay. Happening at 2:18. 40, yep, 3:18 a.m. Eastern Standard Time at 27 degrees. The moon will be trine Pluto in Capricorn, creating a really intense emotional release. It's helping us. Again, this is that emotional release of things that are holding us back from achieving our soul's level up, right? Neptune will be trying the South Node, so you may find yourself really, really digging into some past life things, past life regressions during this full moon. I would not be surprised if things like that happened. But even your childhood, even if it's not past life regressions, there are childhood things that could come up in time for you to heal. Venus will be sextile Chiron. And with Venus sextile Chiron, when we work on making ourselves and the world better all at the same time, for the sake of bringing value back into our lives, there's this massive healing that we can do, not just with ourselves, but with all of our connections too. This Virgo full moon is really showing us where we have lost the love and connection with each other, and the love and connection even with ourselves. And so this transit is helping to teach us how to bridge the gap between our differences, how to bridge the gap between our differences to develop all sorts of relationships despite the wounds that we've grown up with. I'm really hoping that there is, you know, I said this about that Sun conjunct Jupiter, but I feel like it just escalated things. I don't know. I'm a forever optimist. I really hope that this Venus sextile Chiron during the Virgo full moon can help with like a ceasefire and some peace talks. I don't know. It just sucks. Everything that's happening on the other side of the world. So I hope that you all are staying safe. I hope you're all safe. And then on Friday, early morning, we will see that moon ingress to Libra. Oh, that's Sunday. Hold on a second. What am I doing? We need hours. Okay. So here we go. Early moon ingress to Libra, and the Libra moon's going to be there all day. There will be a late night trine to Mars and Lilith. So let me show you that really quick. So we have the Libra moon at 9 degrees on Mars, and then the Libra moon trine 9 degrees Lilith, which is so, I think that this is kind of amazing. I feel like after this Virgo full moon, we're getting an opportunity to integrate our masculine and feminine energies. So wherever it is that you have been unbalanced, it's really going to show. Sometimes we're really unbalanced in the masculine when we're really worried about money, or we're really worried about the safety of our environment, or, you know, when we're having to be in fight or flight, that can be some very toxic masculine energy. And so we have to learn how to integrate that energy with our feminine to learn how to flow between the two of them, so we're not constantly in that fight or flight. I don't think that I got into a healthy masculine energy until I learned how to integrate my feminine, because I had been living in an unhealthy masculine energy most of my life. So it was really difficult for me to learn how to be in a healthy masculine. We all have that masculine and feminine energy. In fact, if you want to learn more about that masculine and feminine energy balance, check out Eric has the masculine feminine balance on Monday afternoons right here on the Love and Science channel. So he's doing a really great job of showing us where those energies are working for us and what to do to help integrate the other ones. So really recommend that. I love you guys. Thanks for hanging out with me for another week. Remember that I do have openings for March on my calendar, and I would love to get some readings in since I'll be taking those out at the beginning of 2023. So love you guys. Have a great week and take really good care of yourselves. Bye.